to get a little better idea what the Sonics might do with the 12th pick in the NBA draft. We bring in our draft experts from the Seattle Times, Nunyo Demasio and Frank Hughes from the Tacoma News Tribune. Gentlemen, thanks for joining us.
Well, let's talk about this 12th pick. First of all, what are the odds that the Sonics are going to just keep that pick, take the player, whoever it is, and sign him up and get him going for next year?
I think it's going to be too expensive probably for them to move up. They don't want to give up some of the assets they have because they have so many free agents coming into this summer. And, you know, at 12, you can almost get the same player that you can get at 17, and I think other teams know that as well. So it's going to be very difficult to move down because a lot of teams know, hey, if I move up to 12, you can basically get the same player there as you can at 17, 18, 19. So it's going to be difficult for them to move down. My hunch is that they probably stay at 12 and try and pick the best available player, best available big man.
Yeah, and then that's interesting because they brought in some guards already to work out. Why would they bring the guards in when they obviously need somebody bigger?
Well, they have 2 second-round draft picks, number 40 and number 42. So I think they're eyeing a guard possibly in the second round. And I agree with Frank that they're going to probably stay at number 12. But I also think there's a chance that they might move up. They asked one of the high school guys, Kwame Brown, to come in and work out. And that kind of indicates that there's a possibility that they're going to move up because Brown is considered one of the top. He's going to go 1, 2, 3, or 4.
Could their draft situation change vis-a-vis a Peyton, Baker, or Ruben Patterson deal, or would possible movement involving those three more than likely simply be with another team separate from the draft?
I think it's going to be separate. I think primarily because everybody's salary changes on July 1st. And you're going to, actually, Vin's doesn't change in terms of base year compensation until August 17th, and you cannot get equal value in return for him until then. Ruben's going to become a free agent. And Gary, as we all know, his salary goes up significantly. And I think they have to gauge which teams like Gary and which teams are willing to give up something for him. So I don't think anything is going to happen with those three guys probably until at least July 15th, the first day that you can either sign or trade players after the draft, or August 17th in the case of Vin when he loses his base year compensation status.
All right, so who are the Sonics looking at in this thing? I mean, with the 12th pick and with the way this draft is laying out, there's no clear-cut number 1 through number 12. We have no idea which way anybody's going to go. But as far as some names that we might be able to look at and say, this guy might be a good fit with the Sonics, who are we looking at here?
I think you can't predict the order of the draft, but you can predict who's going to go the top 10 and the bottom 10. And I think around number 12, the Sonics are going to have a lot of polished guys. They're not going to be able to get any of the young guys with a lot of potential, but they'll possibly get somebody like Lauren Woods, somebody like Troy Murphy, somebody like Mike Bradley, or somebody like Brendan Haywood. So those are the guys you have to look at for the Sonics.
I think two more names that they probably need to throw in there are Vladimir Rakmanovic or Redmanovic, however you say it.
We got to learn a lot of names.
Yeah.
I mean, and that, you know what, Frank, but that makes a great point about the draft, is the fact that so little is known about so many of these guys. They are, in many respects, kind of high-risk players.
And the other question is, do they, after the Vladimir Stepania experience, do they want to go with
what?
That guy named Vladimir.
Yeah, another guy named Vladimir from Europe. And, you know, we were talking off air about the last sort of European guy that's come in and made a difference. And Nowitzki has and Stojakovic has, but who's the last European big man that has really come in? And I mean, I don't know, maybe Vlade Divac is the last guy. So do you really want to go with another European guy that you're looking to fill the middle when, you know, their reputations are to be soft jump shooters?
Do you agree, though, ideally they're going to get some size, somebody with size who can either play the 4 or the 5?
I don't think there's any question. I mean, with ostensibly Vin being traded and Patrick Ewing gone, you're going to need a front court post player who you hope can be a significant contributor. Whether this person is going to be him or not, I don't know, but I think they at least have to take a chance on a big guy and hope they develop him.
At least a contributor by the time Shaq retires. I mean, is that kind of what we're talking about? Maybe 8, 9 years down.
2012.
Something like that.
Of the crop of high school guys, is there a guy there that you see that could go straight from high school and have the kind of impact that a Kobe Bryant or somebody could have? Or is there just too little known about these guys?
I think that's why you're seeing all the rumors about the Wizards trying to trade down, because there's so much pressure and there's such a stigma put on the #1 pick, and if it turns out to flop, everybody goes back and says, hey, look what happened in the 2001 draft. They chose this high school kid, and nobody knows how to project these guys. I mean, I think a lot of people felt like Kobe was the sure thing. I think a lot of people felt like Kevin Garnett was the sure thing. I don't think anybody knows whether these 5 high school players who are supposed to go in the first round are going to be a sure thing.
Good enough.
All right, gentlemen. Frank Hughes from the Tacoma News Tribune, thank you. Nunyo Demasio from the Seattle Times. Thanks for stopping by, guys.
More of the show on the way when we come back. The national perspective on what the Sonics might do with the 12th pick overall. Stick around for that. We're coming right back.
From our Fox Sports studios in Seattle, covering all our teams in the world of sports. Sit down, buckle up, and get ready to